Hello, Libra, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of December the 24th, 2024 through the 7th of January, 2025. These go in 2-week blocks. This is a reading if you are Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, or have another significant Libra placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. If you're returning, welcome back. And you'll notice that I'm in another different space. We are extraordinarily cold this week where I live, and my house is a very old house, so the downstairs tends to be very, very cold where I normally do my readings. So I'm doing them upstairs right now on one of my little tables here. So it's the same reading, same quality reading, just in a different location. So we're going to try to do this here this time and see how this works. We are, as per usual, using Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck. And our clarifying deck this week is going to be the Tarot of the Angels, the Angel Tarot by Travis McHenry. And we are also going to have a pull from the Fairy Oracle as our extra Oracle pull for this week. For those of you who those of you who are celebrating the winter holidays, happy winter solstice or Yule, which happened on this past Saturday. Hope you had a wonderful time. Also, those of you who celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Saturnalia, whatever you celebrate this month, I hope it is a wonderful holiday for you, and Happy New Year as well. If you do want to have readings with me, I do offer right now, I'm still through the 31st of December, discounts on gift cards for readings with me. They are out down in the description box below. You can go to my website. I have a whole bunch of new classes for January. I have readings. Like I said, you're welcome to buy a gift card for readings. And I also do big readings, what they call life paths. They're more expensive readings, but they take hours to put together. So I'm offering those, and I also do a variety of healing and coaching services as well. So again, check the website below for links to everything. My main website, the book online link, and also the gift card link, which are kind of in the same spot. And you can also go to events to see what kind of classes I'm doing. And you can also follow me on Instagram, transition.life.coaching, if you want to follow me for my daily live stream that I do called Morning Coffee with Breach. I do it most days. Occasionally there's days that I miss, but generally. And then I will take the back catalog of those and generally upload them here to YouTube. So, okay. So with all of that, let's get on with your end of the year into beginning of the year reading. Okay. So, just taking a quick look at this, Libra, before I really get into details here. Like a lot of other people right now, you are getting into a space of some new beginnings. And right now, yeah, it's interesting. You've got the twins in the first house. You've got a couple of this kind of twin type energy that's coming up. So when this card comes up in the first house, this is generally... you could be reflecting the personality of another. That is a thing that does happen, that can happen when we are, sometimes it happens when we're in love and we may be mirroring our partner a little more than usual. Sometimes this comes up when others may be affecting our identity in a certain way, but also sometimes when we're showing one face to one person and another face to people perhaps we are closer with. And that's not meaning that you're quote-unquote two-faced in a negative way. It just really means that sometimes we just feel that there's certain things we don't want to show other people. And yeah, with the Seven of Wands card here, this definitely suggests to me that you are in a space where you are not, as you can see this angel with her arms crossed across her chest, there's definitely the sense here that there's certain things that you're standing your ground on certain things, and there may be certain things that you're just not, maybe you're not willing to create drama around them, maybe you're not willing to share them right now. But you're definitely presenting the identity. You may be kind of putting on a face for certain people, which is not necessarily an unexpected thing around the holidays. Perhaps if we have to go see family or see people that we're just kind of like not really sure. Yeah, we could kind of do that. Now financially, okay, so you've got water here, so there's going to be a change to your financial situation. Now this could just be a change. It can also be sometimes when we have an influx of money, and then that influx is just as quickly an outflux. So that could be the situation here. Sometimes money's coming in and going out just as fast. We get money, we get paid for something, and then we got bills to pay. You do have this with the Knight of Swords. So there is a tendency here to potentially watch out for impulsive behavior. Perhaps right now, if money is kind of in flux, Maybe it's kind of, saying think before you make an impulse purchase or buy something. Knight of Swords usually comes up when we are in a space of wanting to, where we feel like we come to a snap judgment. Sometimes this comes up when we're very critical or when someone's very critical of us about something. But I do think here that this might be just saying, don't don't be hasty in your spending right now. Like I said, there seems to be a flow going on and a change. I'm not saying that that's a negative change, but it may be a situation where, at least for a period of time, maybe you have a little less money than you normally do. So it's just saying to watch out for impulsivity here with regard to that. Now, your third house is interesting because you have a lot of Gemini energy. This is the Gemini house, the third house. This has to do with communication, messages of all kinds, short journeys. It has to do with sibling relationships between brothers and sisters. Can also have to do with commerce and business. If you're in your own business, that's the nature of this house. And you have air with the Lovers. Now, air is, Gemini is an air sign, and the Lovers is the Gemini card. So, okay, on the most basic level, this could be communication with a lover. This could be that there could be some kind of romantic back and forth that's going on. Though with the air card, this generally tends to indicate something that's a little bit more friendly rather than something that is really deep and intense. You are a very friendly sign, Libra. And I always feel like when I see the twins and so forth, that the twins, we think of Gemini as the twins, but I think Libra with the double scales could also, to some degree, has that two-ness to it as well. So I don't know. So the possibility here is that there could be some kind of romantic discussion going on. The other possibility, though, is that there may be some discussions here around choices that you're trying to make. Because Lovers sometimes comes up when we have a decision that we have to make between two things. So take it as it resonates here. But and we'll see, because we're going to be moving into the rest of your reading. From what my first glance is at your houses related to love, I feel more like this may be about a choice, or this may just be some friendly banter with somebody you're trying to get to know better. But yeah, but there's definitely this this strong sense that you maybe you're reaching out, maybe you're trying to connect with others. Maybe there's a short journey in the offing. Maybe to a loved one, or just maybe there's some decisions that have to be made about it. Again, with the holidays and so forth, there may be a lot of short distance travel, but that's the element of this particular house. So yeah, so see how that resonates for you. And speaking of Libra energy, it's showing up in the fourth house. You have the Justice card here. And Justice is definitely about the Libra scales. And this is showing up in your house of home and family, along with the Lotus card. So really, the phrase that comes to mind that when I see these two cards together in the fourth house is, don't worry, there's going to be equity and justice or fairness in a family situation. There may be some concern that there's not going to be. Again, the fact that I'm seeing the sense that you may be showing two sides of yourself, or you may be making some choices about communication. Some of this may be around family for you. And this says to me that, you want to remain, you yourself want to remain in balance, calm, fair, in your own center. Allow your home to be a place of balance and centeredness. And if there have been some difficulties with relationships, or if you're with family, or if you've been made to feel a certain way, this is basically saying you want to achieve your own balance. You want to be fair to other people, but there's a sense of tolerating fairness from others. But again, with the Lotus card, I don't feel like there's going to be an attack here necessarily. I just feel like it's saying that you are looking to kind of stay in this place of centeredness and balance when it comes to perhaps the holidays, perhaps seeing people who you haven't seen in a while. There's definitely this sense here, there's this two-ness here around the family. So I don't know, there may be some decisions here that you're making about family relationships. Sometimes third house has to do with sibling relationships. Fourth house often has to do with the mother. But again, it can be family a little bit more generally as well. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Let's look at your job and career things that are going on right now. And also, the sixth house also can have to do with health matters, and just things we're generally worried about. And again, you have this idea of balance. You have temperance here with the Sphinx. So it does seem to indicate a situation. Okay, so if you're thinking of switching jobs, And actually, it's interesting because I am seeing the possibility of making a job change up in the 10th house here. But it just feels like right now, again, there's this need to maintain balance. Temperance is about integration, about integrating things maybe that have happened recently. This has been a very intense time astrologically. And I do feel like you've been on the South Node axis, Libra. Libra, it's been an Aries Libra axis with the nodes, which is going to shift earlier in the next year. But this is a big time for you, for your sign in particular, that has to do with releasing the past. So I feel like there's a sense that you want to sit back, be patient, wait and see, watch what's happening right now, and focus on integrating things that have come into play. Now, this could have to do with a job. And it could have to do with, again, just something you're generally worried about. If we're talking about health, then, again, if there's been some things that you've been uncertain about, it's kind of like saying, well, wait and see. Your main focus right now, again, is to just be balanced. Perhaps have a balanced diet, balancing, work-life balance, making sure you're getting enough exercise, things like that. All things that will keep you in balance. But again, with temperance, I only and the Sphinx card, I feel like there's a sense that you don't have to work too hard at something right now. Like whatever it is, it's going to come your way. Now your 10th house, yeah. Now it's interesting because you have Scarab with the 5 of Pentacles. So I feel like there's a change being made, and I don't know if something's changing at a job or you're going to end up with less money because you have the 5 of Pentacles here, which oftentimes denotes poverty or at least a fear of poverty. Usually it's more the latter than the former, but it could be that you're making a change where perhaps your salary is either going to be lesser or, I don't know. For some of you, I feel like maybe either you're making a career change that's going to be less about money and more about other things that you're prioritizing as a benefit, or it could be that you are, I don't know why, I'm hearing for some people you could be in a job where they've decided the people are taking pay cuts or something. I don't know. I mean, take it as it resonates for you. But there is a sense of newness here. Or it could even just be that if a job is no longer paying, you decide to make a change and say, I'm going to go and I'm going to do something new and different now. But I don't know. I feel like you're being spurred to change, and what might be spurring this change is concerns about finances, money, or security. Again, if I go back to your house of money, there's definitely the sense of not making impulsive decisions, but it does seem like you are being pushed towards some kind of a change here. Now, this doesn't necessarily have, for not everybody does it have to mean a change in job. It could just be a change in your, your company or just with whatever it is that you're doing. There could be some changes here. And maybe you are being pushed more towards what is going to, what kind of legacy you want to leave, what kind of work you want to do, rather than maybe just focusing more on what's going to make you money. I feel like that's going to be something of a priority. Now, if I go to your 11th house of Aquarius, I'm just kind of staying in this area. Okay, so with regard to your goals, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been obstacles here. You've got Seth here in the house of Aquarius. So I feel like your attempts to move ahead, you've been making efforts, certainly, with fire. But there may be a lot of frustration. There may be a lot of impatience. There may be, I don't know, you could just find yourself meeting obstacles where you have, you need the inspiration to figure out how to move ahead. Fire does seem to indicate that there may be old business to be solved first before you can move ahead. And you have Archangel Gabriel here, the Moon card. And the moon often says that, it's our intuition that's telling us the truth. It's possible that we are not seeing things clearly or seeing what they are. Like what's in front of us, the straightforward logical plan we have may not really be telling us the whole story here. So we may have to listen more to our intuition in terms of how we're going to move ahead. But there's definitely a sense of purging and purifying. This is also the house of friendship. So for some of you, there could be, if there have been some issues with people who you feel have not been, either they've been toxic or maybe they've just not been very good friends to you, or maybe you feel like they're trying to hold you back in some way, then there may be a decision to say, okay, we're gonna cut the old friend list. That could also be a thing as well. But the moon does say, you want to follow how you feel. You don't want to do things necessarily based strictly on what you see in front of you. So take that as it resonates there. Now, your 9th house of Sagittarius energy. Okay, speaking of expansion, this is Jupiter energy. This is long distance travel. This is, higher education. This is spirituality, making changes. Now you have Nephthys here, which is a very spiritual card, but again, like Sphinx, there's a sense of something that has not come to fruition yet. And again, Nephthys is strong Piscean energy, like it's wet and watery. We don't really quite see where things are going. Now, this could be a very strongly spiritual card for you, okay? Because Nephthys does have to do with tapping into that. They call it the mysticism card, you know? So the fact that this is showing up here, for some of you, this could be profound religious experience or spiritual experience that you might be having, or maybe meditation and that sort of thing is going to be your focus. And, you know, when we're seeing some of these other cards, you getting yourself in balance may be a priority for you right now. We have it with Elamaya, the Queen of Wands. And so the Queen of Wands here, I mean, this is a very fiery card. And it's interesting. You've got a lot of these kind of watery Neptunian cards with these cards of fire. Now, it is worth noting that Neptune, Saturn, a lot of these planets that are currently in Piscean energy now are moving into Aries next year. So you may be kind of preparing for that in some way. Because when they move there, that shifts everything. We're moving from kind of an earth-water focus to a fire-air focus. And there is some evidence of that here, that you are consciously or unconsciously gearing up for that. Queen of Wands, though, again, this is somebody who is very ambitious, somebody who's beautiful, somebody who's viewed. Now, again, for some of you, if this has to do with long-distance travel, maybe this is to see a particular person, okay? Take it as it resonates there. But Queen of Wands, sometimes is a very desirable woman, but also a very potentially ambitious woman. Now, queens, again, they don't have to be necessarily women. And I'm going to say that too about what I'm seeing in the 7th house as well. But there is a strong feminine energy here, and there is this strong sense of ambition, again, like we see with fire. So I don't know. Maybe now for some of you, maybe, I don't know, if there's a love relationship or if there's just somebody who, Queen of Wands tends to be somebody who's a fire sign. So we're talking Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But again, that does not have to be, could just be somebody with a very fiery nature. There's definitely a sense here that this is a person who is, maybe that's where the delay is here. Maybe there's been a problem. Maybe there is a person who you've been wanting to go see, maybe somebody who's at a distance, but perhaps it doesn't seem like this is going to happen yet. Like there's going to be a block somehow in something where you're going to have to get creative to overcome it. Because there's a lot of this idea of, when I see Seth card, the red card here, and when I see Nephthys, there's a sense here that, we're trying to get to something and either we're not there yet or we're just blocked in some way. And so in both cases, I'm seeing this strong fiery energy that is trying to work actively to overcome that. So that seems like that is going to be a priority. For some of you, this literally could be about going to see somebody at a distance, or connecting with somebody, or maybe even going to school for some people. And like I said, sometimes this has a very strong spiritual bent as well. But take it as it resonates here. But very interesting what I'm seeing here. There seems to be something that you're trying to get to. Some way you're trying to expand your horizons. And the path forward is definitely not clear. But there's a lot of this fiery energy that's going to be put in to try to put that in motion. But again, we have this reminder here. For some people, money might be an issue. And just to be careful, the changes are coming, but not to be too rash. So, okay, let's go to your 12th house of Pisces. Now, I realize we still have to finish over here, but there's a method to the madness here. You've got Page of Swords and you've got Earth in the 12th house. Okay, so there's a couple of possibilities here. When this comes up in this way, the Earth card, first of all, indicates to me unconscious concerns and worries about money and stability. And when we have Page of Swords, we may be worried about criticism. We may be worried what other people think of us, or if people are talking behind our back in some way. That's typically what comes up when we see this kind of energy. And again, in this Piscean space, maybe that's where there's some of these problems are coming in. We're like, I don't know, what is being said? What's going on? It may feel like we are learning things indirectly. And we also just may not feel like we have enough of a grounding in something. Like when you have energy that's too Piscean, it can be like that 7 of Cups energy where like, wow, everything seems possible. And our imagination is the sky's the limit, right? But we can't really see exactly what's going on here. And Page of Swords seems to indicate information is coming in, in a very indirect kind of a way, or kind of an implied kind of a way. Now, if you look at your 8th house of transformation, oh, interesting. You have the Ankh here with the Queen of Cups. Okay, now for some of you, okay, now Ankh in the eighth house, Ankh is a life-death house. So this is a very strong card of life in this house, okay? So there seems like there's going to be some significant change on the horizon. Like this is in the realm of something that is life-changing, shall we say. Now for some of you, I mean, we saw this kind of love stuff down here as well. It could be you're shifting in the new year towards love, towards something where love becomes a priority. That's another possible interpretation of this here, especially with the Queen of Cups. But the Queen of Cups, again, is this very strong, receptive kind of energy. And it suggests, it suggests a strongly, I don't know, there's a strongly feminine figure here. This is the house of joint finances, so I don't know if that has a bearing. Queen of Cups can be mom energy, okay? This can be about the mother. Maybe some of you, if some people recently have had anybody who's passed on, maybe there's an estate that's going to be settled, but I'm not particularly seeing this as an estate settlement card. So I don't really think that's exactly it. I feel more like, again, there's this very strong receptive energy. And like the Queen of Wands, somebody who's looked at, loved, desired. And this, again, there's the feeling here that this is you. Or that, there could be other people kind of coming into the picture here who are coming in as people who have the drive, have the go-getter kinds of things. Or perhaps, when we look at the Queen of Cups, this is a very strongly emotional thing. The Queen of Cups is somebody who is a receiver, who's very good at receiving impressions, who has a good flow of their, a control over their emotional flow. So I don't know. I feel like there's going to be more of a focus. You are transforming into a space where your feelings and where love is going to have more of an importance, I think, than just worrying about kind of the straight up, material kind of stuff. And I am seeing this for a lot of people too, because I do feel like we're moving into a space of heart opening. Now, let's look at your houses connected to, I usually do love and romance kind of last. And again, some people look for love and romance, other people are not. So either way, if you're looking for it, let's start with people like that. So we've got Crook and Flail with the Hermit. Now, the Hermit then tends to, Hermit is definitely somebody who takes a time out, who withdraws. Okay, and when you have the Crook and Flail here, you could be dealing with a partner who is somebody who is recognized for something. I mean, they could be somebody who is well known for something, or they could be somebody who is just an expert in their field, right? There's this sense of somebody, of recognition. Again, there's a strong sense of like what we have with the Justice card in the house before it. For some of you, this could just mean fairness in a relationship or having confidence, because a lot of times this comes up when we need to, maybe if you've been very introverted, this may be about getting your confidence up to move towards somebody. But you could also be dealing with somebody perhaps who's very well known, but maybe right now is kind of in hermit mode, as we like to call it. Somebody who's kind of taking a time out from things, maybe taking a time out from love. So, and so then up here, we've got the Five of Wands with Hathor in your own house of Libra. So again, Hathor, we have this is the third time we're seeing this feminine energy specifically. And again, so Hathor could represent a woman, or it could represent you. There's a sense here of getting your ducks in a row, like getting things together when Hathor comes up. Again, this could be somebody like the Queen of Wands. She's almost kind of a combination of the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So it's kind of interesting that these are coming up. And Hathor energy, probably at the most basic form, would be about, again, clearing out the old to make way for the new. But I also feel like, there could be this sense of attractiveness here. Maybe this is why for some of you it's saying, hey, have confidence in yourself. You are somebody who is looked at. And perhaps, for some of you, I think there's somebody here, perhaps somebody who is visible and well-known, but maybe isn't have the confidence to approach you because perhaps they feel they have competition. I mean, you've got this Five of Wands here. So yeah, there may be somebody here who, you coming across very powerfully to them and they're saying like, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to get in line for this person. Not because, you're taking all these people in, but because you're going to have, once again, that you're going to have choices. Somebody here almost feels that you have choices. Now, for people already in a relationship or who are not looking for love, then I would suggest that right now you may be taking some time out. Like this is a house of creativity. So I do feel like for some of you, you could be working on a project. If you have been, like if you've been working on a piece of art, writing a book, doing something like that, this may be telling you to have disciplined action. Sometimes this comes up when we need to just get into our groove and get things organized. It can indicate visibility for our work, but right now, there definitely is this strong sense of introspection with the Hermit. So I do feel like either you, or if you're dating somebody, maybe there's this sense that there is kind of a, not a timeout in the sense of necessarily the relationship going on hiatus, but where people may be going, much more deeply into themselves, maybe than connecting externally in some way. I don't know. There's definitely a strong sense here of needing to raise oneself up in some fashion. And again, if you're not looking for love, we do have this energy. I would say for the person not looking for love, this is an energy of prioritizing yourself and trying to get rid of all kinds of distractions. They could be people, they could be situations. So I can read those either way depending on what your situation is. Overall, we have the Horus card with the Six of Cups. Okay, this is very strong family vibes. And I feel like what's front and center here is resolving the past and perhaps resolving family conflicts as well, or just past things. Sometimes Six of Cups is also a card of nostalgia. So sometimes this comes up when we are too attached to the past, when we're looking back on it fondly and maybe feeling like, oh, I wish things were the way they were before, kind of thing. And that makes sense around the holidays, really. Maybe starting to feel, you may start to compare where we are now to a previous time. Maybe as people from the past come back, we may feel like, oh, there may be a whole walk down memory lane here when the Six of Cups comes up. And again, with this Horus energy, there's definitely a strong sense of a family vibe here. But but I don't think this is a place. I think you are making decisions to make certain changes right now. And again, you may have been feeling stuck. You may feel determined to stand your ground in something. Maybe you feel that not everybody understands you and what you're doing. But you need to focus on yourself, focus on staying in balance and not having these distractions. We got a couple of fives here. So this is definitely, but I have to say, this is career and this is partnership. And partnerships, by the way, don't always have to be love partnerships. They can also be business partnerships and any other kind of significant, usually legal relationship of some kind. That's why this is often more about like marriage as opposed to dating, for example. But there's definitely this sense of the fives always bring this change. And you've got a lot of queen energy here. So, this very, very strong feminine energy that's kind of moving you. So I don't know. I feel like you need to kind of stand your ground. But I also feel with this Temperance and Sphinx here, you may not have to work too hard. Like you may feel like you have to kind of hurry up and do something. But this might be saying no. Definitely looks like there's going to be some communications coming in. For some of you, this could be new love, but this could be choices. Love, somebody could feel that you have choices. And maybe you're concerned about what people are saying about stability and so forth. But there's definitely a sense that you are, it's definitely telling you to operate more from the heart space here. And for some things, it may just be a matter of just kind of waiting. You might not want to do things immediately, but there seems to be, okay, if I'm going to give an overall, I'm going to say it's about trying to kind of clean up old business first, okay? So let's see what the fairy cards have to say. And the card we have is Celebration. Okay, this is our fairy card, and I'll read to you what it says. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. That's interesting based on what we see here. So yeah, I don't know. I think there is going to be some invitations, and I would say if there is, I would follow your heart rather than worrying too much about certain things. The finances or just some of the practical things. I mean, yeah, do be a little careful with money here with the Knight of Swords, but I think this is just about you, getting into the heart space and finding some quality of life to some degree. So anyway, this is getting to be quite a long reading. I hope it's helpful, Libra. Thank you so much for watching. If you did find this helpful, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want to be notified about videos, hit the like. It's probably the first thing I should say, right? Give it a like so that these videos can start to become a little bit more visible. Thank you for watching. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you in the next one.